Issue 94. After we briefly see Sonic and the Chaotix spending New Year's fighting a purple giant in New Tech City, we cut back a few hours to a New Year's Eve party, where a scientist is boring a girl with a science lecture without dancing with her. Why couldn't she have been dancing and listening to him? The scientist, Dr. Bobble, gets angry at people laughing at him and proves his ideas work by making a delta ray machine which had taken months to make. He tries to use it to give himself the muscular build of a lifeguard, but because the ray hit harder than he expected, he dropped the remote control, and he turns into a monster from absorbing too much delta radiation, rather than dying horribly. He really should have gotten somebody else to hit him with the ray, rather than him dropping the remote control. After he's horrified at what he's turned into, and Mighty lampshades him and the Chaotix being out in public when the police think they committed robbery, Sonic reassures them that they somehow won't be spotted in the crowd when they're very recognizable faces. Dr. Bobble, who is previously horrified at his new form, rips a belt from the tower with his new strength to make people stop their fun and throws it towards the crowd, which Vector points out it's a Captain Obvious, and Sonic snarks him for it. Sonic creates a tornado to cushion the fall of the bell as people run away. As I wonder what about Dr. Bobble becoming a giant would make him talk less well with the grammar, Mighty can't attack him well because he's getting bulkier, which gives him the idea to call himself the Indestructible Bulk. Vector realizes who he is based on him saying his old name, and after Sonic snarks at him for not helping, Vector says he's gonna go to Bobble's lab to find a way to stop him. And he just knows where that is? Sonic snarks, "Gee, I'm glad you passed up the easy job." Charmy is impressed that the Bulk didn't even flinch at Sonic's spin attack, which annoys Sonic. Then the fact that the Bulk was getting bulkier serves as a check on his gun, as he can't move anymore because of increased bulk. And Sonic snarks, "I don't think I can take the credit for this somehow," after Charmy somehow thinks he did it, complimenting him. Sonic says that the Bulk is becoming too heavy to support his weight, and he was moving just fine before as a giant. Vector shows up, having repaired the machine that caused the transformation and reverses the effects, and I'm supposed to believe that Bob had to give up his intelligence to become muscular, when the two aren't mutually exclusive. That's a terrible message. Sonic then destroys his machine, making him complain about years of hard work being gone, when he said he took months to make it, not years. The story ends with him deciding to help the world with his intelligence, and Sonic the Impatient One says he's putting him to sleep and telling him to lighten up, when he didn't even talk for that long. And why is the comic calling its fanbase boomers all the time? That's ironic. I associate boomer with Archie. In the next story, one of the last remaining pieces of parkland in Metropolis is under threat, and some protesters are protesting in favor of the trees. Why didn't Robotnik get rid of it by now? They see Knuckles flying over on his lone pterodactyl, and he sees Eggman's special robot troopers threatening the protesters. Knuckles destroys the robot, and 3 black cat triplets throw a water ball for magic. And one of them says that anyone can learn how to throw a simple water ball after 15 years of total dedication and personal sacrifice. Bullshit. If anyone can learn it, anyone would, and I don't see why simply imagining a water ball showing up and making a throwing motion would take 15 years to learn. The magicians reveal themselves to be good guys to join the robots, and Knuckles warns the protesters to go home because Eggman will just send worse badness next time. Knuckles naturally asks what's so special about the trees that they need saving, and the story ends with one of the trees talking like the Great Deku Tree. In the next story, we see the heroes celebrating New Year's Day in Techno's lab. Seeing the Sonic characters celebrate real-world holidays makes them more relatable. Techno suggests using her lab as a secret base for the Freedom Fighters. I assumed from the first panel that they were already doing that. What took them so long? Tails says that it's better than being on the run all the time. So where were they sleeping every night? Did they get a new caravan? Were they sleeping inside buildings when they're wanted outlaws? Shortview says that the lab's too small for 5 of them, and Johnny suggests burrowing the walls to make more room, and an alarm goes off because someone's on the surface outside the secret entrance. It turns out it was Knuckles, whose pterodactyl had been hungry for grass. Instead of anyone questioning this, we're spirits in recap, and Knuckles is asked to help them live underground. Knuckles assumes he's going to get a fight to have fun for some reason, and then complains about digging extra space for the base because it won't be a day off anymore. Knuckles turns down joining the freedom fighters and snarks, "If I hang around much longer, you'd have me fitting carpets." Johnny thinks he's just making a joke, and so does Tails, who reasons that he's in a festive mood. And after Knuckles leaves, Sharpfuse's convenient sensors detect something alive underground that's big, and a rumble is heard as he tells everyone to go to the surface fast. Why did he need to tell them that? He didn't have to have those sensors at all. A giant dragon gets woken up 1,000 years too early from underground, reminding me of Light Gaia getting woken up early. And the story ends with him wanting to attack them. The first story was by Lou Stringer, and it's about Sonic stopping a disgruntled scientist who accidentally turned himself into a monster with a muzzle-increasing ray gun, and goes on a destructive rampage of revenge for being seen as too boring. So petty. The next story was by Nigel Kitchen, and as Knuckles and some cool black cat magicians save some tree-hugging protesters in Metropolis from robots. And the third story by Lou Stringer has Knuckles dig the heroes some more space for them to live in techno space, so we get to have Techno be a cool, female, better replacement for Porker, only to get threatened by a dragon from underground. It's a shame Knuckles left before seeing it. He would have gotten to have a fight. And I like how original this issue is.